The Brady Bunch was and is an American classic, now seen all over the world. Several years after the last original episode was produced, there was talk about doing another version of the series that would reunite the original cast members. To adoring fans like us, it sounded like a great idea. But to Robert Reed, who was ready to let the legacy of Mike Brady stay as it wasn't an idea he was too keen on. We talked about that in 1991.
They were going to redo that Brady Bunch show. They did a Christmas special and it was successful, so they decided to redo it again. And then
you don't mind talking about this?
No, I don't mind.
All right. It's just interesting to me.
They decided, they meaning the producers, decided they would like to see if they could con the network into making an hour show out of it. Very difficult to do that. How do you take a half-hour sitcom of 20 years ago, in a different era, and bring it forward to today with everybody older, and repeat it? You've got to have the kids, I mean, they've got to be grown up because they are grown up.
Right.
Now we're all adults. We can't have the kiddie lines anymore. You can't have the little morals because we're adults.
And it's the 90s.
And it's a different time.
Yes.
So you've got to write something akin to a 1990s One Man's Family. But somehow that theory never got through to the people who wrote. And we had the sappy lines in. I mean, there was some good stuff, but what I should say is it was very difficult to update and make it worth anything. In my mind, it wasn't, and they didn't. And while there were an awful lot of good people and talented people involved in it, it wasn't successful, and I just think it's awfully difficult to do that unless you're doing, you don't remember, there was a series on radio called One Man's Family, and it was probably the first soap opera kind of drama, and you knew all the members of the family, and they were born and died and came and went, and it was wonderful. You could identify with them all, but they grew. You know, we didn't grow, we just got older and we're saying the same sillinesses. And they, in order to try to bring it up to date, they took what they thought were serious themes, you know, like alcoholism, I forget what the other one was, paraplegia, and would introduce one character to it, and in the space of an hour would take them through it, get over it, and proselytize about anybody else who happened to get in it, so that it trivialized it so. You know, they didn't.
But again, you said this too, it's an entire different era of audience, a different era of television. So who knows what formula works, man?
Well, I happen to believe that there's a market out there for that same kind of, wholesome is not the word I want, but shows with that same kind of value. Maybe not 1970s value, but 1990s value. I believe there's a vast audience out there who would welcome something that also has food for the brain. Most of the things I see on television it's either predictable or sappy or, what's the word I want, smarmy.
For a working actor like Robert Reed, television success in such a highly visible role can often be a double-edged sword. An actor's career is almost always about a body of work, yet sometimes a legacy can make being seen as a specific character, instead of as an actor, a tough place to be in.
I wouldn't want that on my tombstone. Not because I wasn't happy enough with it, I suppose, but when you go through your whole career, if you mean to be an actor, whether you want to be a star or not, or whatever you want to be, it would be nice to have, he was a Hamlet, or he was whatever else.
More about that in segment 3 with Robert Reed. In the meantime, got a favorite Brady Bunch character or episode? You could even do the Marsha one. Tell us about it. Post your comments on the RerunIt.com audience page. Look for the link on your screen. If you liked viewing our interview clip with Robert, watch it again. Some things are worth repeating here on RerunIt.com. And don't forget to check out our interview clips with some of your other favorite stars as well. From Los Angeles, I'm Brad Lemack. Thanks for watching.